Populism versus reality. Hey, do you have a prediction of what people will do when people will do an uprising to take down the system? Will you be making any videos about what's coming next and how to prepare for it? The 15-minute city. I've already done a video or two about the subject and asked people, if you have an ability to correct my video because you demanded I correct you to prove you wrong, and then come back here and actually prove me wrong by telling me I made a mistake. When I can easily cite your source and you don't like the source because it makes you look crazy and you don't come back and defend your position. Anyway, that's what happened last time. Let's see if it happens again. Evil billionaires want us to be green, in quotes. They want to make it to where you can't travel or buy gas, to control us and our bank accounts. This is the assertion of this person's request. I'm doing a crib-noted version of the comment because I'm just breaking it down. Evil billionaires already control you and control your bank accounts. And then they masquerade as being populist politicians and leaders of your supposed taking down the system by making sure you're distracted attacking whoever the hell they want you to attack. You're the fodder in their game. That's it. Preventing you from buying gas and not letting you travel. Now, we have a few examples of that. Repeat after me. I am free even though I live in a country where they make me pay a tax for owning a TV set and have the legal ability to just be bullies, and it's always given to somebody who seems a little goose-steppy. Yeah, if you're a British person, I'm sorry, your entire country's turned into this kind of a mess, and I feel sorry for you. I mean, you might be safer, but you've literally given up your right to tell people, "Fuck off." So, let's talk about America. That's California. One county, or I think it's even one city, has more people in it than several or many of the states in the United States. It's a very populous state. And it has a major influence in this country, unfortunately. And it is run by people who virtue signal their way through making up laws that don't make any sense. It's also the home of some of the most cruel and evil people that ever went ahead and did the exact opposite of what California does these days. It's all a bunch of reactionaries. And yeah, they want to make it to where you can't register a car that runs on just gasoline. It has to be hybrid. International socialist concept, the British low traffic neighborhood, license plate scanners, open air prison. Evil. What's a 15-minute city actually based on? It's based on going back to where you had a small town vibe and method for doing everything. Every small town that was isolated enough had to have at least something in it, usually with no competition, so the prices would be excessive. 20 cents for a candy bar? Back in my day. A small town would usually be one of many small towns along a length of highway or a length of group of linked highways like Route 66. And they had to be self-contained and self-reliant, which meant if shit hit the fan on the East Coast, it did nothing on the West. Oh no, not sustainability and all those other buzzwords you're all freaking out about. Clutching pearls. Well, you can't do, and the arguments are, you can't do that in an urban environment. That's bullshit. Set up infrastructure in the form of small businesses all over a city. No, not a conglomerate like 7-Eleven or Apple Corporation. Actual people in the area doing businesses that provide services and materials so that you don't need to go more than a 15-minute walk. Oh no, that's communism? No, I'm talking about pure fucking capitalism, and apparently you're not listening. If you do anything below in the comment section where you pause the video to tell me I'm wrong without listening to me, you've already been frickin' brainwashed, and there's nothing I can do to fix you. I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to talk to people who are on the fence, who are still just asking questions and not wanting to hear the answer, but might listen once in a while. The rest of you are too far gone. You're already puppets. Goals of a 15-minute city. First of all, it may not be feasible in areas with low population density. You mean a part of town that's been evacuated because it's crap? Like lead pipes in Michigan? Extensive urban sprawl areas with long-distance commutes for low-income workers, which would be solved if they could just go literally 2 blocks to the neighborhood store and work there instead. In the old days, there was a tendency towards it wasn't universal for you to build a big, tall building because that's how the cities were organized. And the first floor be nothing but businesses, and then you'd have a couple of openings that would make it to where the rest of the building, which wasn't just storage, would be where you'd live. Well, that's mixed use, and we got rules against it. Yes, zoning laws that are designed to benefit large corporations that buy up shit tons of land and make gigantic mansion-based areas that are literally so far out of town you can't survive, you will die if you don't have a car to get from point A to point B. That's your new world. Well, they're going to keep us from getting gas because I don't have to have a car. They're going to keep us from traveling because I don't have to travel except to get out the old 1950's station wagon and go take off and have fun for the weekend and not tell anybody where you're going because you didn't have to. Oh yeah, that's such a living hell. Yes, people got low-income jobs in the 70s. It was about $20 an hour, but they were able to pay rent because everything was cheaper, because a large conglomerate wasn't secretly running the whole fucking country, or at least your neighborhood. And by the way, neighborhoods are just the 15-minute city. Stuck a bunch of them together. But oh no, let's not bring back to where you could go 2 blocks to go to the car repair shop, and another 2 blocks to the market, and another 2 blocks to the bar. And you go have a picnic because you actually had parks. No, that's a living hell for some of you. This is the sign of the devil. What you are is you're jealous of seemingly extravagant usage of grounds by people organizing their city correctly and making it livable for everybody. Well, we can't be inclusive. That's a dirty word. Shut up. Yes, I'm mocking every conservative everywhere. Difficult or impractical implementation in established urban areas where land use patterns and infrastructure are already in place. My response is bullshit. This is how you get rid of those problems. You can, if you're in an established urban area where everything's already in place and the infrastructure is in place, all you need to do is add to it. Well, somebody being happy is taking away something from me. Those of you out there that think there's an actual zero-sum game on misery, go to hell. Because you're trying to make it, I'll make that guy miserable so I'm better off. If that's your mindset, please just go to hell. But in this, its example is, like, if you have a city that's really densely packed, it's got a bunch of, stuff going on with it. If it's productive, fine, then people will live on the outskirts of the city. But if it's not productive, because you're really subsidizing everything, because some fat cat always gets the best deal, stop giving the fat cats a deal and see what the market will bear. Pure capitalism doesn't involve this graft and corruption. And guess what you find out? A bunch of areas aren't really sustaining that hog farm or Elon Musk's rocket factory at all. Or that giant stadium you put in place because some rich bastard wanted his name on the outside of the Colosseum. I guess there's not enough lions and Christians being eaten, I guess, for them, so it has to be that way. No. Those areas go into decay, and you tear them down and put up a neighborhood. Do you know how many neighborhoods were torn down to put those up? Shit tons. Well, those were 15-minute walkable areas with families and children and schools and small businesses, and people were happy. Let's burn it all down to put in something that doesn't actually break even. Because they don't. Because rich men don't care. Again, if you're repeating propaganda that if you look at it going back far enough was produced by fucking rich bastards, it's not for you poor people. Strict zoning regulations created by self-dealing politicians so that they could run their real estate firms make single-family home zoning. High-density housing construction is illegal. It has to be single-family homes, and it has to, by nature, push everything outside of the city. So if you don't have a car, you can literally starve to death because you can't get to the store and go pay your bill for the water and pay your and have a job. The business zone is over here. The housing zone's over here. Don't mix them together. That would be mixed use. Yeah, that's how every fucking town was. You can make a city out of hundreds of little small towns. Well, that's not efficient. No, it's not efficient for a large corporation or Elon Musk, but it's perfect for humans because that's how humans live. Walkability, accessibility, social infrastructure, complementary activities, schools, parks, green spaces, and accommodation for people who are marginalized are all scary things for a group of people that want to seemingly shit on everybody else because they think that'll get them to the top. Climbing a tower of shit just means you get covered in shit. It doesn't raise you above everybody else. And yes, I'm sorry, but I have to say this to every conservative out there. Conservatives are notorious historically for finding some group of people to climb over the top of and smother to get to the top. Euphemistically, and in some cases, quite literally. Bulldozing an entire neighborhood because everybody there is poor, so you can put up multi-billion-dollar buildings. No, Donald Trump had nothing to do with anything like that. And giving them nowhere to go and then bitching that they're homeless because they don't want to move away when you tore down their house. And no, they weren't compensated in any way. See also another incident in a specific city where the police department literally dropped explosives and destroyed a neighborhood to break up people who wouldn't comply. Green space promotes positive environmental impacts, urban biodiversity, and protects the city from invasive species. It improves physical health, sleep patterns, exercise patterns. Your physical and mental health are helped. You have reduced stress. Negative emotions are reduced. Increased happiness. Positive social interactions happen more often. We get interacting with each other instead of isolating as much. It better serves, and this is the groups of people that a lot of you freak out about, women, people with disabilities, people with mental illness, children, the elderly. Every group of people that gets shit on by a specific political party. Another political party makes noises like they're going to help them, but always seems to sabotage themselves so that they don't have to rock the boat and actually fix anything. Any group that is usually left out of planning a city would be benefited because the people who plan the city don't want to benefit anybody but themselves. So, again, what group of people have a financial, overwhelming, like bullhorns behind the eardrums level of drive to make sure you don't want a city where you don't have to have a car, but you can, and you don't have to do more than a 15-minute walk, but you can? Who wants to have you be unfree by not having that option? People who don't make money off of it. People make money by forcing you to be requiring an apartment or a house that you have to pay for that's overly expensive, instead of being a house directly above, like a little store down at the base of the building that pays the rent for the fucking property and pays off the taxes. That low-income housing up there, otherwise known as a normal apartment in the old days, isn't available. So you have to go get a job and you have to drive there. That means you have to pay for the gas, you have to pay for the car. And you're always teetering on failure. You're not just one paycheck away, you're one incident. If you get a flat tire, you're late for work, so you're fired, so you can't pay off the car that you spent too much money on because it was the only way to get a car with proper insurance, because now we don't insure a car that's in jalopy because we have standards. And you're living in an area that has urban planning making it to where you cannot be anywhere near a 7-Eleven or anything. No, that's low quality. That's ratchet. Meanwhile, everybody living in an environment where you have everything close to you, not an urban environment, just an environment where you're allowed to have a business 3 blocks away, they have a lower stress level. They live better. Well, fuck them. I want them to be as miserable as me. Or, I'm going to get a house that I'll never be able to pay for and be miserable. You like having fights with your neighbors over a fucking fence rule someone invented to deliberately cause you guys to fight? Yes, the rules that are set up by the Homeowners Association or the City Council are designed to get you fighting each other instead of firing them and replacing the City Council that caused the problem in the first place. If you're part of a Homeowners Association, get rid of whoever's in charge that made rules that made everybody angry. And if somebody makes a rule that you can use to fuck with your neighbor about, realize that you doing that is doing you're the puppet. You're a bitch for the devil. But yeah, be at each other's throats and act like it's a zero-sum game where if anybody's happy, that must somehow make you miserable. And no, this isn't just a stereotype. I see this every time somebody comes in with one of these, quote, populist ideas. The 15-minute city idea isn't a bad idea, and it is a step backwards. To the one you thought about, the 1950s, that's what you're wanting. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with it.